in general, though, I think taking a break from Genshin is like, this is gonna sound like a weird statement. I believe Genshin is not the most anxiety-inducing game. I would say Genshin is like probably the most chill game in terms of being like intensity, that is. But I will say that Genshin is the most exhausting game. How does that work? Some people may ask, how is Genshin more exhausting than something like, you know, competing in any way in Honkai or grinding in like struggling with connectivity issues in Eversoul and whatnot? Yeah, I think some people might ask how that is. I just think Genshin takes a lot of fucking, like, too much, what's Majigga? You just, like, resources. You have to sit here and, like, constantly be thinking about things. In regards to, like, okay, what material do I need? What boss do I need? What thing do I need here? Instead of, there's no auto feature to just do it automatically. Everything has to be done. Right? For example, like, a lot of Honkai, I'd say easily more than half of Honkai can be done just with an autoplay button, because I think the game understands that this is an unimportant feature of the game, and that it just, you know, it wants the player to move on from this and just get the resources, and that's that, right? The most minimal amount of effort wants to be put in, and then you do that, and you're done with it. And so that's like the daily resource grind, like the adventure task if you have the tickets for it, the Memorial Arena. It's like, I think that game understands what it is to do a monotonous task, or like what it means to do a monotonous task. It's just to get it over and done with as quickly as humanly possible. Whilst Genshin doesn't really understand that. Because even a monotonous task like spending your resin does take a while if you, like, you know, thinking about where to spend it. And that's the thing that makes Genshin exhausting. Is you have to sit here, okay, what do I need? What do I need? And there's no, like, and then when you figure out what you need, then you go into the gameplay. And both of these processes take a bit too much time for it to be a relaxing is not the right word. It's too much for it to be non-exhausting. Because I think otherwise, Genshin's quite a relaxing game. You just kind of, the method of killing enemies is quite simple. You don't actually really have to fucking care about anything. It's a simple game as hell. But it's just, when you have to think about what resources, and if you mess up the spending of your resources, it postpones your progress by, like, hours. It's the reason I haven't spent resin in 2 weeks. Is just because I can't be asked to care or think about what I have to spend my resources on. And then at the same time, the thing that I do know I want to spend it on, I don't want to sit there, like, getting that resource or, like, doing that run, right? I don't want to sit there doing the domain runs anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of doing domains for artifacts. It's just, let me auto clear it in one press of a button. Let me, because I've thought about this idea for a while. I think Genshin should do this, right? I think this idea could save a lot of the boringness that Genshin has, and a lot of players could just now pick it up as a very, very, very casual game. And I'll showcase it on this next item, on this next ley line. And essentially what it is that once you interact with one of these ley lines, it just tells you how many instances of resin do you want to spend. And then you can have a slider or like a tally up mechanic, right? A tally up weapon mechanic. And you can go up to the amount of resin that you have. So if you have, let's say, 80 resin right now, well, obviously one of these ley lines only costs you 20, so you can do 4, right? Right, so you go into the tree thing, and here you have a tally mechanic. You have a few extra options like condensed resin and whatnot, but for the normal resin, you have a tally mechanic. So you're like, okay, I want to spend 3 instances of resin here. So it spends 60 resin in the press of one button, and you get 3 instances of loot. I think, and you do it all in one go. I think if Genshin did that, it would be a lot better. Because I think just coming in and doing this grind here is the most monotonous thing, because it's coupled with the fact that you have to explore the world, right? That's what it's coupled with. If you could teleport directly to them, it might be okay. But the fact that it's coupled with, like, you have to walk around the open world, it becomes pretty shit. Because, listen, I know a lot of people would defend the world being like, oh, it's an amazing world, it's immaculate, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful, but I've seen it, you know? I've seen it. I don't go to Paris like 5 times a fucking minute just to experience it, dude. After I've seen Paris once, I've seen it all, right? I think that's what a lot of players don't understand as well, is that the world is immaculate and the world is beautiful, but I've seen it. I don't want to see it again. So there are many solutions that Genshin could apply to this, like a mount system or a fast travel system to these nodes, 100%. I've preached for a mount system for a very long time, but those things coupled together with the fact that you have to do it multiple times, and every time you want to do one, you have to travel to it manually, and traveling is very slow and monotonous, and you have to still kill the enemies, and there's no fast features. It's like, that's how Genshin becomes super exhausting. Because no matter, like, and a lot of players will be like, oh, if you don't like it, just quit. That's, again, not the point of the argument, or not the point of the critique. Because it's just shit walking around this grassy area. Because even then, the world looks great, right? Listen, let's not, I won't deny that the world looks fucking immaculate, right? Holy crap, though, some parts of it, like right now, I don't want to walk around this weird grassy area. This looks like ass. This looks like fucking dog shit. I'm just looking at grass. Alright, dude. So if this was like an immaculate city with like architecture like out of the wazoo, I'd 100% agree that, you know, looking at the architecture and experiencing the world is great, but when I'm just walking around a grass fucking plane of existence, I don't really give a shit. And then I'm fucking it's just annoying. I don't know. The mats are slimmed down to a handful of number instead of too many mats, and also everything uses different mats, talent, weapon, extension. I agree with that, yeah. I think Genshin, it's also to do with like the day-to-day kind of thing, like certain materials can only be farmed at a certain time of day or certain days. I just think that mechanic in terms of any game is just shit. Any game that has that, I start to hate no matter what, because when you sit down to do quote-unquote progression, the world, just because you chose the wrong day, you can be like hindered. I just don't know why games decide to do that. I really don't. Half the time I assume it's just forced engagement by like making it so you have to come back on certain days to play the game. And because of that, I assume the company is also cringe as fuck because they do that. Like, don't try to like pseudo force me to come back at certain days to play your game. Let me play your game whenever the hell I want, and then we'll have a good day. If they don't do that auto skip function, at least have it where you can choose how many times you can do the ley line instead of traveling to different ley lines just for the same resource. Exactly. Perfectly put. Have one or the other. Let me fast travel to the waypoint, and so I can do it quickly, or let me spend however much resin I want on just one singular ley line, right? There are so many ways they can fix the tiresome problem, the exhaustion problem that Genshin inflicts on players, because I know a lot of players love this game, right? I know a lot of players love this game, but also at the same time, a lot of players are exhausted when they play Genshin, because they're like, oh, fuck, dude, I had to, like, you have to just run around all the place, you have to gather shit all the time. It's like, gathering's fine, that's fair enough. Gathering, I don't care about. But it's like, oh, I have to go to this domain, like, 3 times, travel to this domain 5 times, okay, I need to go to this ley line 4 times. It's like, alright, dude, I have to fucking sell my soul, and then that's where the day stuff comes in, is that you have to do all of this stuff on a very specific day. So if there's a specific, let's say, Sumeru material you need today, you have to go there on this day. It ticks over to the next reset. Oh, you've missed your chance, right? It's just, I don't know why this day mechanic is there. It's the same reason I've stopped playing Paths to Nowhere. Path to Nowhere has it, and it's just like, I can't be fucked to, like, think about what day I have to play on. I just want to play the game, right? Oh, I have to play on Tuesdays? Oh, well, I guess it's fucking Wednesday. Gotta wait till next week. And I know it covers a few days, I think like Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, but it's like, it's still my point stands. It's like, I don't want to wait 24 hours to make progress. Nobody fucking wants to do that. If someone can make progress now, they want to make progress now. They changed this area? This place is a lot more grassy. What the hell? And I think that's the easiest way to put it. Like, let me just progress when I want to progress. Because, you know, sometimes it's a lack thereof resources that hinders the progress, and it's not per se the lack thereof desire. I don't have the resin, okay, now I can stop progressing. Instead of, oh, I don't have the correct day, time to stop progressing. It's an easy problem to solve. Obviously, it's 2 years down the line, why didn't you complain about it, you know, in the early days, yada yada yada. It's like, yeah, because guess what, it's not a problem early days when there's one fucking domain, you know? Problems arise and go away as the game progresses. This wasn't a problem back in the day when there was like 3 domains in total that you could farm. Now that there's 4,000 domains and a plethora of fucking characters, it's a bit of a fucking problem. A bit of a fucking problem. That was my spiel. I might even upload that as a video, clickbait it, and go, Genshin sucks yet again. Oh shit, dude. I just can't stand it. I've got it's the daily change of loot is like my biggest annoyance with Genshin, 100%. I just don't understand why games do it. I don't think it adds anything. I don't think it benefits any player. The only thing it benefits is like, you know, that one, everyone knows that one statistic that Genshin has where it's like 30 million daily players. It's like the game with the highest amount of daily players. That's true because people are logging in daily to see what fucking day they need to get loot on. That's what's actually happening. They're logging in. They're like, oh, I think my loot's up today. They log in. Oh, no, it's tomorrow. Gotta come back tomorrow. And then the people who said that yesterday are logging in to get their loot. It's a fucking endless cycle of people just going, what day do I have to get my loot on? What day can I farm that domain on? Oh, that's what it is. That's all this is. This Genshin thing, this Genshin game, that's all it is. It's a daily login, check your loot simulator. Not actually a video game. Not actually story driven. No story to be found. Honestly, can confirm. Damn, dude. Unfortunate. More regions, more characters, more different maps. The future of Genshin is more hell. You know, but here's the thing, though. And that needs to be immediately said. It's more hell for people who don't stay up to date, right? If you're a brand new player, you have a zero chance of, like, getting into Genshin and thriving. I respect people who hustle and bustle and try to, but I'm just sorry, you never will get to the same level as other players. It's nigh impossible to catch up with that. Because it's not just a... Maybe I won't say nigh impossible. It is possible, obviously, through time. But it's like... It's an egregious... I'm looking for the right word here. It's an egregious amount of time that you do have to dedicate to it, right? It's like... You have to dedicate... Well, you know, doing all the quests to get all the gems, doing all the domains to get the everything, doing all the bosses, getting all the boss materials. It's like, you are not doing this within a reasonable amount of time. Because at this point, like, well, if you're a day one player like myself, you have, like, I don't have to farm, let's say, I don't have to farm Andreas or Dvalin or Tartaglia or Azhdaha at all ever again, most likely, because Genshin will not release that many characters that, like, I would have to use up that much of my resources, right? Whilst a new player would have to farm all of them every single week to get enough resources to get just one character from each zone within a reasonable amount of time, right? Because it takes how many? Let's say you want to triple crown your character, or even get them to level 9, their talents to level 9. Getting a character's talents to level 9 takes you, like, well, that's 2, 3, like 9 or 10 resources from the boss in total. So that's, and if you're AR 55 plus, that's what? Potentially 5 weeks, or, sorry, 5 weeks minimum, 4 weeks, 4 or 4.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks if you're, like, super lucky. You know, it's 3 weeks if you're super lucky, right? 3 weeks to get one character's materials, 5 weeks if you're unlucky. Yeah, how many characters are in the game? 50 plus. Okay, 50 times 5. That many weeks to get all the characters. Guess what? At the same time, more characters are being added. They just need to let you, you know, do some stuff there. There's a bit of refinement, a bit of tinkering they can do to make it a bit more new player friendly. But then again, maybe not every new player is like a fucking, like, mega brain wants to juice out the game kind of guy, like me. I like to juice these games. I like to juice them, dude. I like to rinse them out. But maybe a lot of people, oh, you know, I don't mind playing this game over the next 45 millennias. I don't mind. I don't mind doing it. And, you know, fair enough to you. If you like playing the game over the next 45 millennias as the game progresses into ancient history, by all means. But not I. I think refinements are in need. And it would be great if they would happen.